share a quick tutorial with you today on using pigment powders such as brushes and color bursts. And I'm going to be using some stencils by All and Create. I mainly wanted to use this one I snagged from my mom's stash. Thanks, Mom. And then I have a delicate one. I wanted to show you sort of the difference between using a bold stencil like this or this, where you have thicker lines, and using something really delicate. So let's get started. You can definitely use brushes or color bursts, whichever you have on hand. And I'm using very cheap, not water, not paper made for using water. It's just Hobby Lobby's cheapest cardstock, and it's the heavy duty version. So I think it works great for this technique, and I don't have to use very expensive paper. Like normally I would use watercolor or Bristol. So what you want to do is put the stencil over your paper and spray very heavily with water, where you just see the water kind of standing. If you're using the brush show powders, they come in a pot. This one is lime green. You just want to take a paintbrush and dip it in, and then do just a flicking motion. You want to kind of do it lightly and not get clumps if possible, but it's hard to control. I like to choose two colors that when you combine them they make another color, like yellow and blue. That makes green, or blue and red is another good combo, because then you get a full range in the finished project with just two powders. Okay, so I'm using this one as more of a yellow because it does have a lot of yellow tones in it, and this is a leaf stencil, so I want to not have too much blue going on. So I'll just put that, if I'm done with that color, I'll just put that in my water pot. And now this is Platho Green, the color burst. If needed, if you don't see the water sitting any longer, just keep spritzing. Okay, that lets all that pigment blend and helps this next layer to activate. And I want to try to do this as lightly as possible to avoid those just super dark clumps. It's very easy to get, but try not to have a heavy hand when you're tapping it. Okay, I think that's good. I'm going to give it a good spritz, and that's going to be my first impression. Okay, you can still see the outline, but it is a little bit of that speckledy look. You can blot away any puddles if you want. You can also spritz with water and sort of activate some of that pigment if it's not quite as rich as you'd like. Okay, so I'm going to finish with that one. And next, while we have all of this ink on the first stencil, let's see, let me show you this first. I like to kind of take my finger and move it around, making sure I've covered all of the... Normally I would wear gloves. I totally forgot and started this video, and then I didn't record it, so this is number 2, take 2. I hit the wrong button and wasn't recording, just talking to myself. Anyway, so get all that mingled, and you can give it a good spritz so it will play nicely with the paper. And it may drip just a little, so I try to do it kind of away from the card first, see, and then give it a press. Okay, you can press with your finger, or you can just take a sheet of scrap paper and blot. And that's usually the way I go. If you press it with your finger, you maybe can use it again and get a third print. Okay, just push pushing it really firmly. If I use a nice card, sometimes it'll transfer and you can get a good print from the pressing paper. But here we go. I can spray just a little and maybe get that section to go. Okay. See how beautiful. So this is the opposite of what the stencil looks like, and this is the, I guess that's the positive and this is the negative. So that's the bold image, and now let me show you. What I like to do here too is just take any excess I have and if possible just blot it with a scrap of card. Then I'll have a coordinating, and you can even just add just a little more pigment so you get some coordinating paper to stamp maybe your focal image. Butterfly, you'll see I did some of these pieces with butterflies. That's very pretty. Or you could stamp your flower. It's very dark. You can emboss your flower in white, but that just makes me a nice coordinating piece. Do one a little bit lighter on the other side. This is just the scrap. I'm cutting the square cards. Okay. And then I just rinse all my stencils out under water. Just going to quickly wipe that off. Okay. So let's show what we're going to get with this more delicate type of stencil. This is an older All in Create stencil, and I'm going to use this time blue and red. Okay. And again, I'm going to spritz it heavily with water and then just lightly tap. Maybe spritz it again, and another light. Okay. Okay, so sometimes you lose all of the detail. It just depends on the amount of water, but I was able somehow to keep a good bit of that, and I'm really pleased with that one. And I'll work on this just a little. So I can get a nice second print. Okay. I do throw these papers away that I used to blot because if I used them with something else, it's easy to cross-contaminate the ink color. Okay, so there's that monoprint. Okay, so I hope this gives you guys some ideas on how to play with your stencils.